Well guys, it is time. Finally got some free time to try and put these coilovers in. So first things first, I've got the car kind of prepped so I can show you how to install. Pretty easy on these cars. Yeah, top is pretty much like these three. Bottom is like two big ones down here. And moving to the back, I know it's a little dark, sorry, but there's a shock bolt right there, and then this pretty much just kind of falls into place. I'll get some better light in here too, but then it kind of I didn't install these, but it feels like there's a bolt right in here, and then in the trunk, pull some of this stuff back. But again, I'll show you guys that as we go through the process. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna put you on a tripod and get going on it. All right, well, that was way more struggle than it should have been. Getting these lower strut bolts out. The flat rate tech in me just didn't want to pull the caliper off. So I ended up just pulling it off to make things easier, but these bolts are so damn coarse, it just kept binding up and sticking. Also, Raceland has these like shims to go in here and here, which is stupid. I don't quite understand that, but stop. Okay, so here's kind of a side-by-side. Not gonna lie, the MaxpeedingRods look a bit better to me. Mainly these braces here, the way like things are cut versus just this squared off kind of, I don't know, cheap looking. Yeah, plus obviously this. With the Racelands, you utilize the OEM top hats. These come with their own like billet machined, plus the camber plates on them. So yeah, they're pretty cool, not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna match these up height wise, and then reinstall it, and that'll kind of be how I install it for now. Then once the car's on the ground, then we'll kind of tamper with making height adjustments. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, well, ran into my first issue. I'll show you here. So, first nut and bolt went in okay. Second one, let's see if I can get a good angle here. Maybe from the bottom, or, I mean, both sides have the same issue, but you see how the bolt won't go in all the way? Yeah, it's hitting that little tab. Sorry, I'm trying to give you guys a good angle here. Dang it. Okay, right there. So that's an issue. And then these are the OEM bolts, OEM nuts. So, you know, most people don't just have these big old, you know, nuts and bolts laying around that may or may not have those big, like, built-in washers on them. Not washers, just the flange head, or I don't know what the terminology would be, but yeah, so that's cool. Kind of think I need to cut those cool little brackets that I mentioned off. Referring to the Racelands, they have no cool little brackets, so +1 for Raceland, I guess, and -1 for the MaxpeedingRods. Alright, so moving on to the rear. You're going to want that nut right there, simple enough. For the shock, then you'll take this padding back, and you're going to look right there, that's what you want. And then this guy, I had this low enough to where I could literally just swoop this thing out. Let's see, there's this guy that comes with the Racelands. Oh, and just like that. And yeah, so then this, I believe, yeah, there's a bolt up there. So, yeah, just the one bolt in there. It screws into here. There's a, I don't know, something in there, but you can feel the bolt head in there. So that'll take care of that, and then the shock. So, hopefully we have some success with the rear setup. The front I'll have to finish up tomorrow. My son's asleep, so I have to do some cutting. So yeah, let's get to the rear. All right, so if you didn't catch that in the hyperlapse, so this sets up there like this. But what I noticed while trying to disassemble it is it has this plate that goes in there, and that's kind of what locks it in. But when you're tightening and loosening, this plate spins too. So I kind of put some sideways pressure on it like that, just to give it some resistance, and then it popped free. So I don't know if the MaxpeedingRods are the same way as this. We will find out, obviously. Hopefully nothing stupid happens like with the fronts, but now the shocks, I mean, if those don't go well, then we're in some deep crap. Alright guys, it is the next day. I just finished up modifying these coilovers. Now, as you can see, everything sits flush. Come on, there we go. Well, it will sit flush, but yeah, I cut out the edges here, so this flange head bolt will work. So now it's time to reinstall. All right, so matched up the fronts, and there's quite the ride height difference. I think I got to drop the front about 2.5 inches before it will match that, even though I think the MaxpeedingRods coilover is actually shorter when I installed it than this is right now. But yeah, and then the rear is maxed out currently on the perch, but the shock is fully extended out, so I kind of got to play with that. I'll probably see if I can take the perch out that's back there, but you can't see it, but probably drop that about 1 3/4 inches, and it should bring it, you know, like pretty close to the quarter. So yeah, just playing with ride height a little, and then we'll get to the other side. Okay, so this is the front maxed out. All the collars are, let's see, on these they're, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. Here we go. So this one is all the way up here, and then this is screwed all the way up against that. So that's maxed out. And then the rear, I have the collar taken out, so it's literally just a spring back there, and the rear shock is fully compressed. So I kind of wish I could get it lower, but without, you know, cutting or modifying certain things. Just kind of looks like that's how it's going to be. Also with the front, I had to drill out these rivets because up in here it wouldn't sit flush against the strut tower. Also, when you drill those out, it gives you some room for camber adjustment from factory. So not only will you have the camber adjustment on the coilovers, but you'll have a little bit of adjustability on all these. So that's kind of cool, but kind of annoying at the same time having to drill those out. So I still need to do this side, but yeah. So now that I kind of explained everything, how to do that, the trials and tribulations with it, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then I guess I'll need to test drive it, see if it settles at all. But yeah, we just need to see how they drive, see how it rides. I'm setting all of the dampening to soft, and then we'll go drive it, see how that feels, and then I'll probably switch them all to hard, see how that feels, and yeah, kind of do an overview. So, all right, here we go. First test drive with the coilovers. They're on full soft. I feel like I've mentioned that a couple times now, and they're pretty much max low without like cutting or modifying. So I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on the video, but kind of like my bounciness, if they are very bouncy. This road right here is usually pretty bouncy. So far, they don't feel real stiff. They're a little stiff, but not like crazy stiff. But they are kind of bouncy at the moment. Really don't feel terrible for the price point. I mean, sure.
curious to see if the dampening adjustment, if I take it to full max, if it'll help cure the bouncing or if it will make it worse. Try and find a place to turn around here or pull over so I can adjust the dampening. Same route back to my house so we can kind of get a visual representation. Alright, I'm gonna go change the dampening and I'll be back. Alright, back online here. Full stiffness. Stiffer. I didn't even notice it tilted my phone here. Jesus. Alright, yeah, there's a bit of a difference between dampening settings for sure. Open diff problems, Jesus. I'm over here trying to have some fun in the wet. I feel like a Honda doing a burnout. I'm gonna weld the diff in this thing. I'm gonna have lower back problems when I'm done here. So as of right now, I feel like the lowest dampening setting is like kind of bouncy, and then the highest setting so far is just really stiff and it takes away the bouncing. So maybe a good setting for me at least would be like right in the middle, somewhere around the 12 range. These are 24-way dampening, so overall, not bad. If you're looking for just cheap coilovers, yeah, they do the job. As far as like lowering the car, I'd like it lower. We'll see if it's settled at all after driving it, pulling back into my driveway. I'd like it to go lower, but without modifying, I can't do much, so we may reach that point. We'll see. So overall, can't complain too much. You're not buying, you know, $1,000, $1,500 coilovers, so can't complain about a whole lot, right? So let's see how it looks.
So I don't know why this corner just seems to be like so high. Yeah, it's kind of bugging me. Actually, this side too. So the rear didn't really settle. Front, I don't know, it looks about the same. Of course, you know, one test drive may not settle these. Yeah, Yeah, man, I raised this side quite a bit to try and match this side, but they look so much different still, yeah. And then also the camber settings. So this is at -1 degree here with this setup positive as far as it can go. And this side is negative on this plate as far as it can go, and like 6 degrees or 6, I don't know, I'm calling these dashes degrees here. This would be -6 degrees camber there. Quite a big difference, but visually, not a huge difference. So, I don't know. I'll get it on the alignment rack and see what the alignment specs show at some point. Yeah, so I'll probably get the rear end up in the air and, I don't know, see if there's anything I could do to possibly get it lower, because it's just too high for me. So, anyways, well, that's the install video. I hope this helps you make any sort of decision on buying these coilovers for your new Edge Mustang. Appreciate you guys watching. Keep watching, and we'll see you on the next video.